Super Bowl, the biggest game in sports history. And when we walked out, thousands of cameras just started flicking. And it hit you, it's like, bam, this is it.
We're going to win the game, I guarantee. Is this fun or what?
This is why you lift all that weight.
Get the popcorn ready. Here we go.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the greatest show in sports. I don't want to lose this game. I am so glad I don't have to tell people what it's like to have lost the Super Bowl.
It doesn't feel like second place. It feels like the bottom of the pile.
Nobody could ever know what Doug Williams went through, because if you don't walk in his shoes, you won't know.
I said to the fellas, I says, look, we got 30 more minutes. Let's play the last 30 for the old man.
It is unbelievably huge. You just can't even fathom it.
Old man Willie, he's going all the way.
We did it. We did it. We were number one.
Super Bowl, baby!
That's what it's all about. This is your dream, to go to the Super Bowl.
We're going to play the biggest football game in the history of Western civilization.
It is absolutely huge.
On January 15, 1967, the Green Bay Packers, champions of the National Football League, played the Kansas City Chiefs, the best team in the American Football League.
You had 2 TV networks covering this game. That's the biggest thing that ever happened. Till you looked in the stands and there wasn't many people there, and nobody cared.
I thought everyone in the nation thought that the AFL couldn't play with the NFL.
Green Bay Packers had said it was a Mickey Mouse league and a Mickey Mouse team.
We weren't playing just for Kansas City. We were playing for every team in the American Football League. And so there was a tremendous amount of pressure on us to do well in that football game. And we felt it. I know I felt it.
Lombardi felt like he had the whole NFL on his shoulders versus the league that he hated because he had to pay guys more money than he wanted to. So that was the biggest game Lombardi ever coached.
What has been the most satisfying experience to come out of this as far as
It's been a very frustrating season. The most satisfying experience is the fact that we're in this thing at all.
I think the highlight of the game for me was the spaceman flying around the LA Coliseum with his backpack. I thought that was sensational. That was probably the most interesting part of the game.
Dale to the right, McGee to the left. Starr dropping straight back. Hit as he throws. Has the ball. It is McGee. Touchdown.
We had a good game plan. I mean, they weren't doing anything to us. They weren't hurting us. I mean, we stopped their running game. They weren't passing against us. They didn't do anything.
Dawson calling signals on first down. Keeps to the ball. Rolls out to the right. He's got a man clear. Touchdown.
You know, we were juiced up. We were happy. We'd stayed with them, and then we figured we could come back that second half and take it to them.
Dawson being rushed and throws. It is intercepted. And down the sidelines comes Willie Wood.
We were moving again when I threw that interception. And I think looking back at the films, it's something they had the blitz on and they were able to get to me. What I would love to do is have that ball back again, to eat it or just throw it up in the seat someplace, because that was the turning point.
The attitude of the players just went like that because they figured they were going to score and there's no way we could win.
That is Pitts' touchdown on the first play, going off his own left side.
35-10, the Green Bay Packers, coached by Vince Lombardi, win the first Super Bowl game. The NFL can claim it is the best in the pro leagues.
My most vivid memory was the press conference with Coach Lombardi standing up there, and the commissioner giving him the trophy, and then the press immediately jumped to him with the obvious question, all right, Coach, tell us the truth. Were the Kansas City Chiefs better than the other NFL teams?
I think the Kansas City team is a real top football team, and it doesn't compare with the National Football League teams. That's what you want me to say, I said it.
I still don't believe the Super Bowl. I still look at it and go, wow. And I certainly had no clue that Super Bowl I would end up being the spectacle that the Super Bowl is today. Isn't this incredible?
To feel that energy, to be on a Super Bowl field and see all those lights go up. and see the step bomber fly across your head. And know, mama, grandmother, kids, friends, everybody in the world is watching you.
The play was called 17 Bob Trail. It was a power play to the left. My view was blocked a reverse field, and as I turned up, there was a huge hole in the middle of the field. As I saw the Redskin defenders rush to the right,
And he gets away for a moment, comes back up to
and I just shot out like a cannon. I felt like I was traveling at warp speed and everyone else was at a standstill.
The play's called Brown Right X opposite shift. Toss 38 halfback lead, fullback pass to Y, and it was on 2. Bobby Newhouse threw the pass. Instead of carrying the ball, he threw the pass. And Bobby had just loaded up with Stickum. This is when you could have Stickum. I had to laugh because that's the only spiral I've ever seen Bobby throw. I mean, it came right down the row of lights. Right down the row of lights, which are right over the numbers on the field. It was absolutely perfect. Right in stride, and I'm at full speed. What a great experience. A wonderful experience.
I won't deny that I had a night on the town in Los Angeles. I'm just not expecting to play, and next day Boyd Dowler gets hurt, and I wouldn't let an opportunity like that get by. So fortunately, all about the second pass Bart threw to me, it happened to be a little quick post, and I kind of reached back, and that stuck in my hand, and that was the first touchdown, and from then on I could have done anything.
Warner back to throw, under pressure, throws the end zone, touchdown Rams.
Derek Brooks, the game before, hit me hard, which bruised my shoulder and my ribs, so I could barely get my arm up. It hit my face mask, and I was able to get my arm up just a little bit to hold it. And when I'm scoring and I'm going in the end zone, I'm like, man, I'm scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
It was Curtis Johnson who got me right, I think just got a finger in my jersey. And I swung him around, and that little son of a, he wouldn't let go. And, I mean, I could have, scored had I not. Just one finger. And I never, I always think about that, Looking back, it would have been nice to say you scored a touchdown in the Super Bowl. And I came that close, that one little finger.
It was just unbelievable. Everybody around the whole United States just loved the Bears, and they loved me.
William Perry has scored on a 1-yard touchdown run.
That's the most fun I ever had in my life.
It was just a spur-of-the-moment thing. Roy missed the field goal. I turned around and I saw Harris smacking him alongside the helmet. And I couldn't believe it. So I went back, I grabbed him by the shoulder pads, and I threw him down. And the referees, or the umpire, someone said to me, you're out of here, Lambert. And I said, wait a minute. I said, this is a Super Bowl. You can't throw me out of this game. He said, well, then you get back in the huddle and you shut up. And I said, yes, sir.
I remember going out that day. It was a beautiful day. It was sunny. It was warm. We'd been playing a lot of cold weather. And warming up, I was throwing it so accurately and warming up, I said, man, I am ready. I'm not even going to throw another ball. As time has gone on, I realized what a special game it was for me, more so, because forget, it's even hard to go 22 or 25 in practice when they let you catch the ball. It is a special thing, and I'm proud of it, and I can honestly sit here and say, when every Super Bowl game starts, I'll root for the quarterbacks to throw incompletions early so I can enjoy the game and I don't have to worry about them breaking my record.
It was one of the rare experiences where the reality far outweighed the dream. Usually the reality never kind of quite lives up to it. It far surpassed it. It was beyond my wildest imagination. The evolution of my life has been patience. If you would have told me that I was going to throw 6, that was impossible.
It's another touchdown. Steve Young is now number 1 all time with 6 touchdown passes, Wayne.
Someone take the monkey off my back, please. It's gone forever.
I can still remember the stadium, the way it looked, the way the field looked, the way it smelled. And they're really great memories for me. That's bigger than money and everything else. It really is.
It was one of those deals where you had a chance to step forward and basically shape your destiny.
There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hold. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35,
I was by far the last guy to leave that day. Stands are completely empty. You got all the cups, and you got a few of the workers that are pushing the brooms and cleaning the place out. And I look up, and I see the scoreboard, and it says Redskins 27, Dolphins 17. And in that moment, I went, I'm a world champion.
The thing was, when we got out in the huddle, everybody was pretty calm about it, and they knew that we'd been in the situation many times before.
Joe looks at me and he goes, hey H, look down there in the corner of the end zone, the other end zone. I go, yeah. I look down there, and he goes, there's John Candy. And I look down there, and sure enough, John Candy's eating popcorn in the corner of the end zone.
And there was just a hole between two of the players, and Candy was like framed right there, and I figured he'd appreciate it. So, I didn't do it, thoughtfully.
Montana back to throw on first down. Throws over the middle. Completes it to Craig.
We had Jerry Rice triple teamed. We knew they would go to him. So we had Lewis Billups covering Jerry, bump and run. Over the top, David Fulcher was going to cover in case he went straight up. And then we had Ray Horton dropping dead in the middle. Jerry beats Lewis Billups across the middle. We had the deep covered. Ray didn't quite get there, and they completed it for 27 yards.
Watch this absolute surgeon on the football field. It's almost like poetry. Back to throw Montana. Steps up, throws. Touchdown! Raiders on the 10-touchdown. A 10-yard pass. The 49ers have scored with 34 seconds remaining.
For a quarterback, it's the ultimate feeling. I mean, you spend those days growing up dreaming of throwing a touchdown in your backyard to win the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you have an opportunity to fulfill those dreams, and there it was right in front of you.
It's really interesting when I talk to kids. I sometimes tell them that if you work really hard, that you may produce one moment in life. That's your moment. They can never take it away from you. Super Bowl 10, for me, was one of those moments. Terry put the ball out there and gave me a chance to make the catch, and I was covered. But somehow I found a way to get up in the air, to twist my body, and to get that pass. I only caught 4 passes in that game, and 1 for a touchdown. But they were the biggest 4 because of the sight, because of the Super Bowl. To realize that you come out of the ball game and you're the MVP, everybody that put you on top as the key player, the key performance in the biggest game of that season. And it's yours. It's in your pocket, and you stick it in your coffin when it's all over.
I'm trying to keep from hyperventilating before the kickoff. I might just pass out right now.
Oh, it's got butterflies on it. That's big, man. It is big. It's awfully bright out here.
By the time you get out on the field, you say, boy, I'm glad this finally come, because the tension is there.
Perfect example is Jackie Smith. Tremendous career, Hall of Fame career. But what do people remember? Him dropping the pass in Super Bowl 13.
Pittsburgh 10. Roger back to throw, has a man open in the end zone. Caught! Touchdown drop! Just in the end zone. Jackie Smith all by himself.
I saw Jackie wide open, and I kind of pulled the string because I couldn't just drill it to him because he was running too deep.
And I tried to stop to get back, and I just couldn't get back far enough. I had a problem with my left arm, and I still do, to be able to get it back that far.
It really wasn't a very good pass. It was low, and it surprised him, and he wasn't ready for it.
That's not what Jackie Smith was all about. You throw that pass to him 10 times, 9 times, he's going to catch it. But people remember that, and that's unfortunate.
Oh, bless his heart. He's got to be the sickest man in America.
Anything you do in the Super Bowl is automatically amplified 1,000-fold. I look at it as kind of like the Leon Lett play. If it happens in a regular season game, nobody would ever talk about it now. That's the Super Bowl.
Fourth down to throw. Pressure, sack, and fumble. And Leon Lett. Oh, look out, here he goes. Here comes Leon to the 20. Go ahead. Oh, Leon Lett has it fumbled. It's a fumble. It's a fumble. He had it knocked out of his hand.
Oh, Leon Lett. Leon Lett. Oh, my goodness gracious.
Oh, Leon.
Hey, look at him.
Was it a bad snap? Was it a bad snap?
And that was a good snap, it looked like. Tupa couldn't handle it.
So Tampa on special teams disintegrating. And Martin Gramatica looking like Garo Yepremian from 30 years ago.
Yeah, you were hoping that he'd try to throw the ball.
A 42-yard attempt by Yepremian. Snaps it down. The kick is blocked. Rolling loose on the field. It is picked up by Garo. He tries to throw a pass. Deflected in the air. Grabbed by Bass. 40, 35, 30. He's going to score. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown.
As he walked off the field, I heard him say zonk, and I turned around. I said, what? He said, what should I do? I said, what are you talking about? He said, look. And he pointed over at the bench, and Shula was over there. And he was all hunkered down. There was a big lump sticking out of his back, and his face was red, and there was little white marks under his eyes, and he was looking at Garo going, come here, come here.
Garo was very careful when he came off the field to come off way down at the far end of the bench because he knew that I didn't want any part of him.
Bill Brundage was in front of me, and of course when he's in front of me and I'm 5'7" with my hair up, and he's in front of me is 6'4", 270 pounds. I couldn't see anything downfield. And I didn't realize my hands were too small. The ball just slipped out of my hands. The only thing that bothers me is I didn't do it often enough. I threw one pass and I've made a fortune doing a banquet speaking. If I had thrown the pass more often, maybe I would have done much better. Maybe I would have been a color analyzer on one of the networks.
The quiet man of this football team, Scott Norwood, barely raises his voice above a whisper. He can fire the shot heard round the world now.
Can you imagine living with what Scott Norwood has to live with today? Wherever Scott Norwood goes, no matter what he does, family, friends, media, anybody in the supermarket, anybody in the restaurant, they're going to talk about Super Bowl 25, that kick. That's it.
A lot of pressure. You want to talk about a pressure situation. It's only the Super Bowl, folks.
That is a long way to kick a football. Get ready. Snap. Spot. In the air. It's got the distance. It is. No good.
Giants win. Giants win.
Does it mystify you why so many people are so interested in the question, how do you feel? How did you feel when you missed a kick? Is that puzzling to you?
Yeah, it is. It's puzzling. I think that simply the word empathy probably comes to mind at some point, that you have the ability to put yourself in my shoes. It was a tough thing to handle.
You know, we're struggling with this right now. You know I am, but I know I've never felt more love than right now.
I can honestly look at that season and say, you know, even though we didn't win it, I'm proud of everybody on our football team. I'm proud of Scott Norwood. Yeah, he didn't make that field goal, but he was one of the main reasons we got there.
I think it affects him still to this day in a way that none of us will understand. I think it's a scar that he carries with him, and I think it's unfortunate. I love the guy. I mean, he won a lot of games for us. And it was tragic that his legacy is one that has to be in that Super Bowl.
Listen, real happy to have the opportunity to compete against you. You know what I thought? It's a hell of a thing for either one of us to lose, because I mean this. I appreciate the job you've done. And we've had similar backgrounds and frustrations, and it's if you after the game, I think we should shake hands, right, one way or another. No way we won't. Right. Okay. How about them Cowboys, huh? We only have 60 minutes to get it done, so no sense in waste. Start on the first play and give it everything you got on every snap, huh? Good luck to all of you, huh?
Remember, you guys, when it's too tough for them, it's going to be just right.
Now is the time. There's no more talking. Now is the time to play the game, okay?
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. You gotta love this, don't you? Jesus Christ.
Okay, let's do a job. Hey, these guys can't move the ball against us. Let's do the job on it, babies.
Remember what we said. Toys, 60 minutes, and physical.
Knock his ass off.
Hey, play quick with him. Play quick.
They don't know how fast we are.
John, I would like to speak to the referee again, please.
Are you out of your mind? Are you out of your skull?
He touched the ball. No, he read.
it was a bad call. They set it upstairs. It should have been intentional grounding. That's 7 points.
Make sure you mic it right. Make sure you mic it right. Oh, you lost your place.
How come you sending my guys out there and it still ain't over?
Mr. Official, let me ask you something.
Okay, Coach, go ahead.
How can 6 of you miss a play like that, huh? All 6 of you. The ball jumped out of there as soon as we made contact.
I thought you were talking about you being on the field.
No. What?
He was out of bounds. Look at the replay. Come on. You got to make the call. You're in the Super Bowl.
We didn't play with the biggerness and the aggressiveness this last series. Now, what we got to do is take the damn ball away now. Let's get that ball.
Come on, let's go. Come on.
You have him.
Right.
I have him. You have him on the play pass, right?
Right, on the play pass? Yeah.
The big thing is we're all look a little bit tight, and they look exhausted already because of nerves. And we got to get them to relax a little bit.
Okay. You guys are panicking. Relax.
Don't be a selfish football player. When we give you the ball, do your job. And when we don't, do your job again.
Hey, we've got to make up our mind to go out, relax, play quick, stay after. Don't lose your confidence.
We got some big coming back to do, guys. Let's do it. Man, that's how you win championships.
Hey, that fullback wide open coming out here, too. Hey, Phil! Fullback wide open.
That's your problem, Brad. You got so much potential. If you just stay focused for 60 minutes, you can do that when you're a world champion. You're going to be a stud. You're going to be all you want to be. We got to work together at it, though, right? No, finish strong, man. Let's finish strong. Love you, boy. Keep it going.
You got the last 30 minutes of this season, and you got to decide what you want to live with for a whole year.
Last I heard, you had to outscore somebody in 4 quarters. They're celebrating. They're celebrating right now. Look at them. Go win the game.
65 horsepower trap. That might pop wide open, Rats.
I mean, a far formation running down, we can go under with it. See? We can also sometimes, on 1st and 10, run a strong dog or a red dog.
Far west, right slot. X short. 200 jet smoke. X choice.
He should have been that end zone. Should have cut in. He should have been that end zone, shouldn't he? Did he strip? It isn't good footing down there. It is not good footing down. I'd come back the same thing.
Want to go after him? X deep cross, Y seam. H2.
I'd like to run the flow 36. I'd like to hammer it right down him right now.
Come on, Lenny. Pump it in there, baby. Just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys. Couldn't ask for a better script. Let's go win it right now.
Let's go. Let's go. Hey, Ronnie. Let's go. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam.
That's the game. It's over. It's over. We're world champions.
I told you that, baby, the fair. Yes, sir, boys. Woo!
I want you to go empty out all the water containers.
No, you
Andrew.
What's in it for me?
Who's in charge here?
What's in it for me?
Oh! Oh, it's too cold. Oh, I wasn't gonna let you get me. You're the champion, man. You are the stallion of the world, man.
We won the Super Bowl, did we not, huh? Did we win the Super Bowl? Did we win the Super Bowl, huh?
Congratulations. I am happy for you like I've never been. Believe me. Congratulations. This is yours. You deserve it. Oh, man. That was a good game, huh?
Sorry. We'll see you in the locker room, okay?
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Was this the final game on the sideline for a great coach, Bill Walsh? Emotional moment right now with the coach down here inside the locker room, Jack.
Joe Green and I, we got down to New Orleans and we decided that we wanted to go out and have some dinner down in the French Quarter. Before I finished the dinner, I had this excruciating pain in my chest and in my lungs. And I guess the most frightening thing was I couldn't breathe. And later that evening, I was in the hospital with viral pneumonia and pleurisy. It felt really, really bad, but it was Super Bowl Sunday. That was just too much of an event to miss. I never thought that I wouldn't be there. In fact, it kind of annoyed me for them to think that I wasn't going to be there. As it turned out, I was able to play all but, maybe a couple of series during the whole game. Came back to Pittsburgh the next day and then stayed in the hospital for an additional week after that.
He's got a migraine going. He can't see right now. We got the medication in him and it should come back real quick.
I didn't have one the entire year, and here it is. Super Bowl Sunday on this huge stage, this huge platform to try to, win this big game, and a migraine comes. I'm like, this is the wrong time.
Terrell Davis is on both knees, and this would be bad, costly for the Broncos.
You can't see. What's that? You can't see. Okay, just do this. You don't worry about seeing on this place because we're going to fake it to you, the 15 lead. But if you're not in there, they won't believe we're going to run, okay?
When you got down in your stance, could you see the line of scrimmage?
It looks like a collage. Like, I can see half your face. I can see like bodies here and there, but it's like a puzzle, but they're not, all the pieces are scrambled.
But I mean, were you concerned you could have collided with John on the handoff or something?
If you watch the tape, you'll see what I do.
What did you do?
Hey, I get out the way.
Play fake. Elway rolls right. He can run it in. John, it will trot into the end zone. Touchdown.
My story is kind of inspiring to a lot of people who've seen me play football and then leave a game and then come back with MVP honors. That's inspiring to people who get migraines every day.
Third rushing touchdown. That's a Super Bowl record for TD. And it's a reverse to Jerry Rice, sweeping to the right. He's got some blocks. Here's Mims trying to catch him from behind, and he is banged out of bounds at about the 41-yard line. Takes a pretty good hit from Darian Gordon.
It was very important for me to get back out there on the football field, just to show everyone that you're not going to be 100% at times. I was trying to snap my chin strap, and I couldn't do it. And I passed right by Dion, and I told Dion, why don't you fasten this for me? And I think Dion told me, you're the best out here. He said, no one can stop you. I just blocked everything out, and I just focused in on my job. And I knew I had to make the catches, and I just take a lot of pride in what I do.
John, quick pass, slant in, Jerry Rice, another touchdown! Jerry Rice continues to set records in the Super Bowl.
If you don't have a mind, it doesn't matter. It's basically what the theory is. I tried to beat Rayfield to the inside, Rayfield right, and the guard picked me up. I think Blaine Nye. And when he picked me up and flipped me over, and the fibula snapped. I said, I know it's broken. He gets the pictures back and he says, see here, it's broke right there. I go, well, I understand that. I said, tape it up. I can still go play. They're all saying that you won't recover. You won't be ready to play. And you shouldn't play. As the captain of the team, it was my responsibility to go and participate in the Super Bowl. It's very complimentary when you think that how you carried yourself was influential on other players. There was something special about getting to play those guys. You want those opportunities. You wanted a chance to go and play for the ring.
Something was about to happen that has never happened. I don't care how you cut it up, there will never ever be a first black quarterback to play in the Super Bowl again. And I was it. Bottom line was, the reason why the Washington Redskins wasn't favored or given an opportunity to win that football game was simple. Doug Williams, the black man at quarterback, John Elway, everybody he rolled at quarterback for Denver. Just so happened when I went back to pass, my right foot just planted and that grass just slid away and I had no control over it. Ain't no doubt about it that was a whole lot of black folks on their knees on that day. And when I went down on my knees and the whole house went down on their knees saying, Lord, please help him. Lord, that's him down on his knees in the Super Bowl, and say the Lord turned around and said, Doug, get up, I started it and I was going to finish it. I don't care who's playing the game. I mean, you can go get the best of the best and put them all together against the worst team in football, and you wouldn't expect that type of second quarter. It's one of those things that when things start happening, it was happening so fast that you couldn't get a grip on it. And I'm sure if I was on the other side of the coin, if I was with Denver, I'd still be wondering what in the world happened that day.
Get another one right here. Let's see. Do they go up top? Lobs it into the end zone. He's got Didier. Touchdown, Washington Redskins. Holy cow.
Even today, I run across a lot of older gentlemen and a lot of older ladies who come up to me and say, baby, I don't know nothing about football. But that day, I was praying for you.
Unbelievable. And look what I got. A broken arm out of it. Deshaun Foster got a handoff. He came through. I hit him with my forearm. It hits his shin. All I felt was something pop in my arm. I get up. I'm screaming and yelling toward the sideline for someone to get in and replace me. No one will get in and replace me, so I'm holding my arm. I look up, Muhammad's coming full throttle at me, and he catches the ball on the sideline. So I go, and I have to get him out. So I push him with my arm that I broke, and I just hear it kind of pop again. And then I just laid there. Once I got him out of bounds, it was the most agonizing pain that I've probably ever experienced. Went to the x-ray room, they x-rayed it. I was screaming and yelling at the guys, get me to a television so I can see the game. And then they said, okay, you can stand here and watch it. While they turned their backs, I snuck on the field and I went and sat on the bench.
The Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
I looked up in the air and I remember Ty Law always talking about the confetti on his head. And then I finally, this shot on my head, look at Larry Centers, and he's just pouring out crying. I just give him a big hug. You know, I'm just holding my arm. It's just killing me at this point. All the experiences, all the emotions, everything that I've gone through, the good, the bad, all the coaches telling me I couldn't make it. I was too small, I was too slow. And I'm just sitting here saying, I cannot believe this. I'm a Super Bowl champion. Unbelievable.
Don't let anybody ever tell you that just getting there is a wonderful thing. Getting there and winning is a great thing. Getting there and losing is as bad as never being there. It's worse.
So it all comes down to this. 6 seconds to play. Rams 23, Titans 16.
McNair drops, throws right side for Dyson. He dives for the end zone. Didn't make it. He came up 1 yard short.
When I released the ball, I'm like, yes, we're going to score. And then just as Kevin reached over, everything just silent. Two professionals fighting hard. One to go across the goal line, one to stop the other from going across the goal line. That play, you know, is going to be with us for life.
Everybody wants to win a Super Bowl. It's not enough to get there. If you get there and lose, then everybody says you're a loser, which is kind of foolish when you think about it, because it takes a lot to get there.
You don't want to be on the losing end of this thing. The way that security ropes you off and just kind of pushes you into the locker room. And I hear, you know, all week, cameras, everybody's on your coattail, and all of a sudden they just push you to the side, and there's no way you can forget that. Losing in the Super Bowl is the worst feeling ever.
I just remember just walking to my sidelines to sit down to collect my thoughts. Because I wanted to see what it was like to win it, to see how they felt, to see their joy. So I thought for sure that I was going to hold that trophy up that night.
I want to hold it, it's shining with fingerprints all over it, your ball cap on, confetti all over the place. I want to experience that.
From a head coach's standpoint, it's much worse than a player. You also have that hurt, but you also feel like you've let so many people down because it's your responsibility to see that your football team plays as well as it's capable of playing. How could I go into a game of that magnitude and not have our football team better prepared, you know, than we were?
It's kind of like finding out one day that you're an old maid and you had 4 chances to get married, and you never really took advantage of those chances, and now you're too old to enjoy what that would have meant.
I think my legacy has been damaged. I think the legacy of my teammates have been damaged, and the legacy of the Minnesota Vikings have been damaged for some reason because we didn't win those Super Bowls.
You feel like you're an island. You feel like you're all by yourself in a room full of guys that are supposed to be your teammates, in a room full of people that are supposed to be working towards the same goal. You feel like you're an individual. That's a sick and disgusting feeling because you have no choice but to endure it.
Experiencing 4 losses with Buffalo, I wanted to go to a team that was going to go to a Super Bowl and win it.
5 times the charm, not 3. You always hear 3, but 5's a charm, especially for Don Beebe.
Staying on the field, I was in the safety position because Brett was just kneeling down at the end of the game. So I'm standing behind Brett about 10, 12 yards. And he kneels down. I'm looking up at the clock, 5, 4, 3, and it ticks, and it's finally over. I walked up to Brett and I said, Brett, can I have that ball? He turned and looked at me, gave me the ball, and he says, man, you deserve it. All my thoughts and feelings went toward the Buffalo Bill players, organization, and fans. Because I sat there and I realized that I was the only guy from those teams that has experienced a Super Bowl win.
That was like a big knot in my stomach for 14 years. It's like one of those eternal heartburn type things that, it's just burning there all the time. And I think that that's what kept me going.
Inside the 10, head first. He dives inside the 5-yard line. My goodness.
You want to tell me the 37-year-old man doesn't want to win this game?
Man, oh, man.
That sacrifice, oh, man.
That to me was like being born again. That I did not have to answer the question of what if you never win a Super Bowl.
That game, and to finally get that win, it made my career. You couldn't have written a better script.
People always ask me what I remember most about that game, and it's not one play. It's seeing the guys' faces on the sidelines when we won the game and we had just basically become world champions.
I think I just exhaled. I just couldn't believe we did it. I couldn't believe we did it. You feel like you're going to do it, and you're going to do it, but when it does happen, it's a feeling of, wow, we did it.
The St. Louis Rams are the world champions.
I'm looking to hug anybody that's got on blue and gold. I don't know who it was I hugged. I'm hugging, I'm running, I'm almost in tears. I'm pumping my fist. Not a bad day for a kid from North Carolina, a little snotty nose kid from Carolina.
That a small kid from Glenville, Georgia that grew up watching football and watching Super Bowls on television had just been a part of one and won it. And nothing. I can win 10 Super Bowls, but nothing can replace that feeling that I felt for the very first one.
There was such a feeling of elation, joy, a tickling explosion inside. The teammates, we did it. We did it, It was wonderful. And going off that field, it was kind of like a finality of it. Yes, the fans were up there, it was just, yes, yes, yes. Oh, it was great.
It's, everything wrapped up into one. It's what you've always wanted, and then you get it, and, you just got it. I mean, it's not only a day. I mean, you had it that day, but you had it the next day, and you had it the next year, and you had it forever.
T-shirts are nice, but diamonds are a girl's best friend, baby.
We busted our ass. We've worked harder than anybody to get here. Nobody can beat us in a team, and it's worth $70,000 and a big ring.
I got that ring in my safe, man, and nobody can take it. It's mine. It's got my name on it. I broke things for it, bled for it, sacrificed for it.
Getting a World Championship Super Bowl ring meant more to me than any dollar amount or anything else involved with the game. That ring meant something to me.
Those rings, I tell the players, you can get all the money in the world. And I've had a few bucks over the years, but I have a wife that has a black belt in shopping, so I'll never see that money, but she'll never take the ring away from us.
It's why we do these things. I'm not naive enough to think that it represents anything substantial in the spectrum of things in this world, but in this particular industry, the National Football League, it does mark the pinnacle. And for a short time, those that get to enjoy that, I think, deserve a measure of credit. It is a precious thing.
A lot of guys look and say, I got a Super Bowl ring, and and they want to tell everybody about their Super Bowl ring, and they don't never say, I want another one.
So if you think that you were wearing one of those rings right now, you'd get complacent, you'd lose a little of the hunger?
The hunger would be gone. When guys come up to me now, when I went to Dallas to play, they asked me about my Super Bowls. I say, hey, let's win one, and then you have your own. We can look at that one.
There seems to be a mistake here. I ended up getting Pete Kugler's USFL ring. Has no value, and whoever has my ring, I want it back now. This magnificent World Championship ring weighs 107.3 grams, making it the largest Super Bowl ring ever made, totaling just over 5 carats of diamonds.
This ring symbolizes an amazing year. It's kind of a thing that most players try to play a lifetime to achieve, and to have the opportunity to be out there and do it, it's just an amazing feeling.
Snap, ball down, kick up, kick is on the way, kick is good! Kick is good! And a Vinatieri from 41 yards away!
To me, what this ring symbolizes tonight is many things. Undefeated at home, 15 victories in a row, 2 Super Bowls in the last 3 years. Those are historic things. I think that it's a just ring to that we can look at it and say, hey, we'll be champions forever.
This is the moment you have all been waiting for. Enjoy.
The symbolism of this ring, and you could hear it. They were like little kids with a present under the Christmas tree running down and ripping it open.
This is the next best thing for my son being born 4 months ago. That's what type of experience it is. It's unbelievable the type of commitment, the type of sacrifice that it took in order to achieve this.
I got this ring and I looked at it, and unfortunately I'm probably the most emotional person. In a lot of ways, I think I tear up. It's the most beautiful ring I've ever seen, but I think more than that, it was one of the most wonderful times of my life.
If God would come down right now, Terry, what can I do for you? Send me, put me back in one Super Bowl, and put me on the 1 foot line, and give me 2 minutes to go, and give me all 3 of my timeouts, and give me my boys, and then let me hear my name over the loudspeaker. Let me hear the roar of the crowd. Let me have them booing on one side. Let me get in and call plays, see the eyes grow as I call these plays, and talk to them. Let me feel the hair on my back crawl up. I mean, that's what the Super Bowl does to you. I mean, it's doing it right now to me. I mean, I could go out right now and play. I know I can play 2 minutes.
Bradshaw hesitates and then throws deep for Stallworth in the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. How about that?
Through a hole to the 20, to the 30, outside reach, to the 40. He may be gone. Midfield, to the 40, the 30, the 25, 20. Touchdown for Desmond Howard.
Montana drops back to throw, looks over the field, goes for the end zone. Jerry Rice, touchdown, 49ers!
That's it. It's all over. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the champions of the National Football League. Silver and black football is king of the hill.
Cowboys are world champions again.
The world champion Washington Redskins.
Bears win in San Diego. The St. Louis Rams are the world champions. The Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
They are a great football team, and they are the world champions.
They have fulfilled the promise.